we're closing on half-time and it's 12-9. Are you happy or were you happy with the way that the Wallabies were playing?
I wasn't ecstatic. I still think, what Morg said, that the Italians put us under pressure. They were capitalising off our penalties. Our breakdown was pretty poor, and it even got worse in the back half. But to have the lead in a test match is always good, and you can go in and readjust things at half time. So 12-9, I was happy with the score, obviously, but there was definitely work-ons.
What were you thinking?
I thought the Wallabies are the ones that should have been happy probably with the score. I thought in terms of, if you break up the minutes, Italy had played better for longer periods. The Wallabies did look threatening, a couple of first phase line breaks. When they did get into the 22, you can see they could put pressure on, but the breakdown was an issue. The big theme at the moment with I think that Wallabies game was all of the little inadequacies and inefficiencies came home to roost in that match. That was the poorest performance of the Joe Schmidt coaching era at the Wallabies. I can't find one that was a lower ebb. It's the worst of this year for sure. So, but it also is almost not the end point, but also coming together of a couple of issues in the Wallabies game. One is attacking breakdown. So Lions series and then those two tests in South Africa, Wallabies averaged 2 attacking penalties per game at breakdown. Now they're up at almost 4 since then. So since arriving on Australian soil for those 2 Argentina matches, the Bledisloe and into this tour, they're now almost doubled their inefficiency, really, or the ill-discipline at attacking breakdown. They gave away 4 penalties for not releasing. That's the most they've given away. And then also they've lost their gain line success. It's the 2 lowest percentages of gain line success in carrying the ball this year. So it's the 2 worst carrying days of the year from the Wallabies. And this is a Wallabies team who only had Rob Valentini for 40 minutes of the Lions series. So they've been without some of their big carriers. This wasn't Wallabies selection that should have had a huge issue there. And when they're a possession-based team and when that's how they build everything they do, those 2 things are a huge area of concern, not because of the anomaly of this weekend, but because it is a downward trend to this point.
What would the boss have said to your teammates in the break around those exact things at half-time?
Joe's very ball first. That's the sort of coach he is. He's all about the ball, and his one standard is winning the ball at the breakdown. If you don't get that right, obviously you can't play rugby, and that is one of his biggest points. So I can only imagine Joe at half time, and in particular post-game, will be really hard on that breakdown. And it's not just the cleaners, it's the way we carry. The carrier, is worth 60% of the retaining the ball. He's probably the main guy. You have a real dominant carry, makes it easier for everyone else. But the timing to get there really quick was just off on the weekend, and Joe will be all over that.
So
can I follow up?
Go,
that okay?
Please.
What would his solve be? Would he be saying just be more urgent, or is there a technical angle of approach, or is there something around the width of the pass between the 9 and the forward pod? Because anecdotally, it looks like the Wallabies are a very narrow team in terms of your forward carry. The pass from 9 to your forward carriers is very narrow. We see Ikitau through the middle. We've seen Paisami do it. You're a very narrow team, I would assume, so you can get gain line success and win the ball and then go wide. But we're not seeing the payoff.
Yeah, well, it's to preserve the space out wide, to stay nice and square and narrow. The key around the breakdown, it's not just to be there more urgent, it's about making it easier for your teammate. So what are you doing? Yeah, if the ball's not coming to you, but what are you doing? Are you staying live in the play? So you're looking like a threat. At the moment, it probably looks a little bit one-dimensional where you kind of know where the ball's going to go. But it will always come down to being very square, really hard carry, and then that breakdown's got to be really urgent.
So, in lay terms, you're trying to suck the defenders in, then out you go.
Yes, yeah. So we want to be square through the forwards, and then the ability to go out the back and use that space that we've created. Because if they've got to mark up on us, if we're narrow, they're going to be narrow. I think our accuracy around the fundamentals of the game were off, and that's around winning the ball.
Yeah, so this might not. So I just want to drill down on this point, Sean.
Yep.
So move me along if you have to, but it's not working, right? So at the moment, the patrol that Sean is talking about out the back to go to width, there is no space out the back because there's no changing picture for defences, not winning gain line, and not recycling the ball well. Even more than that, other teams are pilfering our ball. Is there a fix? Can you see a Joe Schmidt this week say, OK, boys, I want that forward pod 3 metres wider off the 9. I want a bit more depth. It's a very flat forward pod, which looks really deliberate. Of course, get it on the gain line, make the gain line. Is it get a bit deeper and a bit wider and try and get momentum? Is there going to be a change at all? Because at the moment, all you have to do against the Wallabies is defend between the 15s, win the physical battle, then there isn't any space you have to worry about out wide. Is Joe going to say, do you think, boys, we've just got to do this better? Or will there be change? And is Joe the attack coach? Who else has influence over the attack?
Joe's the attack coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he's the everything coach,
Yeah,
but you know, in terms of who's running attack at training.
Yeah, well, it definitely wasn't me.
Yeah.
But I think, the shape's there. I just reckon we can do it a lot better.
Okay.
And Joe will reinforce that. But, looking at the game, we were very flat-footed, so we weren't running onto the ball. In terms of those forwards, you want to have a dominant carry. You want to be taking that ball forward on the run. And as I said, you make it easier for your teammates. So what are you doing outside the ball carrier? Are you actually looking like an option? And then just that collision area, we got to front up. The forwards have to get front foot ball for the backs to use that space. And no doubt, I reckon that will be a focal point for the team moving forward.
Whatever was said at halftime did not resonate, did not sink in, because as you rightly point out, James Slipper, it got worse in the second half.